I've had quite a few conversations with people who look back on a loved one who developed dementia, and they said, yeah, man, we saw this happening. We saw that happening. We just never put it together.
You don't know what's normal, and you don't know with aging, and you don't know what's not normal, so you kind of let them go for a little bit.
It's very hard for adult children to see their parents being in need of care and not as strong.
We even noticed socially she was becoming more isolated. Friends of hers started basically ostracizing her a little bit.
They can feel very alone, like nobody has any idea what me and my loved one are going through.
She was in denial too, and we realized that she was a very good master at covering things up. She's very independent and didn't want us to worry about her, look after her, or any of that stuff, or be worried about her, so she just, covered everything up.
We really saw her becoming more dependent on us.
I seemed like I was doing everything myself, having to organize everything, having to make sure everything was done, and it was just very stressful on my part, and I just was getting very exhausted.
You begin to really get worried about a person.
They're not picking up the phone, and you start to worry. It wasn't safe to live by herself, and basically she was living at risk.
And unfortunately, one night she went missing. It was 24 hours before we found her. They identified that she had an episode which was related to dementia.
When you have a friend who not only has dementia, but you're aware that it's getting worse, the unknown becomes a pretty awful thing.
My sister and I came together and said, look, we have to do something.
We thought, Michael has a lot of independence left.
It was the community service lady in the valley that turned me on to Shanx Parkland. She said, you know what, they're the best, go and talk to them.
Mom said, no way. Not going. Dug her heels in, refuse. My sister and I huddled and said, oh dear, what do we do? Because Mom was bound and determined she wasn't coming.
We went in, we met with Sherry, we had a tour. They took time with all of us, and they were very, very supportive, very patient.
We're walking down the beautiful hall. All the residents are there smiling. The staff are approaching Mom, beaming, saying, welcome, Shirley. We're so happy that you're here.
They talked to Mom and they asked her about her interests, and she said that she plays darts and she bowls and she does all this stuff. And they were like, oh, well, you're just going to fit in great here. And I could see Mom just getting calmer and calmer. And then she looked at the activity schedule, and that was it. She was like, oh, there's all of this stuff in the same building, and I can do all of this. And so by the time we left, she said, this is not something I want to do, but I think it'll be okay.
It's been 3 months now, and she has settled in.
She's not alone in her room.
She participates in activities that she never had at home.
Her cousins would be trying to call her on the phone, and then call me at home and say, your mother never answers the phone. And I'd say, well, that's because she's never in her room.
So there's a band that comes, and my mom, who has a love of dancing, was always a beautiful ballroom dancer with my father, dances for a whole hour, nonstop.
I'm sitting with Michael, and we're looking around. The music hasn't started. And Michael says, oh, there's some of my people there, and there's some of my people there. Well, I never heard him talk like that.
I can't say enough good things about Parkland and the people that work here and that the care that they give.
The residents do become family to them, and that's obvious. You don't have to be on that unit very long to feel it, to see it.
Walked in, the staff were there, all wishing her happy birthday, and they had a birthday present for her. And it's like, wow.
The lady from the kitchen came up and gave Mom a kiss on the cheek, and Mom just kind of snuggled into her, and my aunt just looked at me and she said, these people love her. And I said, yep. And my aunt went home just with peace of mind, knowing that people loved my mother just like the family does.
She actually has a life, a better life than probably she's had in years.
It's full of life, and people are laughing, and the staff are engaging.
You know, and I can spend really good quality time with Mom now. We just come, we chat, we go shopping, we do all of these things. So because I have the time to do that, and she's happy.
It isn't easy to take somebody away from what they're used to. In this case, coming here, no, that wasn't a problem.
For me, placing her in memory care, it was relief, actually.
The weight that was lifted off my shoulders and the peace of mind that I had was fantastic.
It exceeded any expectation that we had.
I can't imagine it going any other way. And me feeling as grateful and less stressed and happy and knowing she's safe.
So I have no regrets, and I have recommended the Parkland facility, and I will continue to recommend it.